Okay, so yesterday we talked about the customizing and extensions. Okay, so only thing is remain that is the SMT mapping, like how the data flows from the UI to staging area and from staging to active area, right? Right. SMT mapping access class. Okay, here SMT mapping, how it is done. So that is incomplete because that the system is not working. So we will talk about the data migration practices and the what are all the integration scenarios there. Okay, so migration, integration, replication, and migration in the SAP MDG we will talk about.
Okay.
Okay, so integration means like when two system connects with each other. Okay, so when we check the landscape of MDG, we had one MDG hub system. Okay, in hub deployment or in co-deployment also, like we will be having one SAP system on which the MDG is MDG system is implemented, and we will have separate legacy system, right? Which will only store data. We will not have authorization to change the master data in those legacy system. So whatever is coming, it will be coming from the MDG system. To connect those two systems, we need some integrations. Okay, we should have some middleware between that to connect it. Okay, to wire it together. So for that reason, like we use the interfaces in SAP. Okay, it is called as interfaces. So uh, the integration, how it happens? It happens between the two SAP systems or from SAP to non-SAP systems. SAP to SAP system, SAP ECC, that means ERP system to S/4HANA system, and SAP to non-SAP system. Okay, so back and forth it happens. Like when we are sending the data, we'll send from MDG to SAP or non-SAP system. But when we are pulling up the data, we can have the data from a non-SAP system to SAP system also. Okay, so these are the interfaces like SAP PI, PO, web services, iDocs, and SAP CPIs. Okay, so these are the interfaces we use generally to connect the SAP systems with SAP or non-SAP, other SAP or non-SAP system. Okay, so what is SAP PI or PO? So it is a process integration and process orchestration. This means, okay, so it works as a middleware to integrate the SAP and non-SAP system. Okay, this is just creates the connection. Okay, so with the help of that, we can send the data. So if we take a example of the vendor master, so if we create a vendor in the MDG system, so with the help of this PI, process integration or process orchestration, we can send the vendor data to other systems. Okay, same web services. Okay, so web service also, it is a middleware to send the data from SAP MDG system to non-SAP system, and same thing happens from non-SAP system to MDG system if we want to get the data. Okay, so this concept iDoc is also, it will also work same. Only thing is that the process will be different, like how the data is getting sent. Okay, so web services, they will be mostly, we will use the web services or iDocs. Okay, so if there are cloud-based applications like something like Ariba or something like cloud integration is there, then we will use the CPIs. Okay, cloud platform integration. So iDoc will also carry the data. It will be carrying the table segments. Okay. So they will be it will be carrying the segments of the data from one SAP system to another SAP system. And same is SAP CPI, Cloud Platform Integration. Also, it is a cloud-based middleware for integration of SAP to non-SAP systems. Okay, and it provides a single source of truth for master data. Okay, so why we use this integrations in SAP to ensure that the data is synchronized throughout the landscape. Okay, so real-time replication and synchronizations. Okay, so it happens in the master data like MDG system after the approval. Okay, so once the change request is activated, the replication will start. Okay, that means the change request, once the change request is activated, all the active data will flow and sit into the legacy system like other SAP system. For that, we should have the data replication framework. So data replication framework, this DRF, we use for the distribution of the data, that means the replication of the data, we should do some configuration in the system to enable this replication. Okay, so it can, like, we can have a two kind of replication. One is the immediate replication and another is the scheduled replication. That means batch wise. So real time means immediate replication. When the change request is activated, immediately the data will go and sit into the database. And another is scheduled or batch. Okay, so here, like we saw the example of the additions, right, in the finance data model. So with the help of the edition, when the edition is released, or it has a multiple options, right? When the edition is released, or immediately after the change request activation. So these are the modes of the replications. Okay. So that also like ensures that all consuming systems have the data, up-to-date data. So that comes into the replications. And now data migration and convergence in SAP MDG. So what are all the concepts of the data migration? So when new MDG system is introduced, so we should, like, we will be having some legacy data, right? So existing data also should be transferred to MDG system. So first that copy will happen. Okay, so to do that, we will use these concepts like data import framework or data services or migration cockpits. Okay, so these are all the SAP tools to load the data from S4HANA to MDG system or other systems. Okay, so the migration cockpit, it is a SAP tool for loading and migrating master and transactional data from legacy system to S4HANA or MDG system. So when we saw this uh, implementation, we saw the phases, right? Here somewhere. Here. So when MDG, we get the fresh MDG system, we will do all the configuration of in MDG system. Okay, we will import all the standard data model, the BC set activation, everything will be done. Now, once the MDG system is stable, then whatever data was in SAP legacy system, we should load that data into the MDG system. Okay, so that will happen in the data migration. Okay, so this initial load is also a part of a data migration. So we can use the MDG like migration cockpits, or what are all the other things like data services. So first we will do the cleansing of the data, we will validate, enrichment will happen, and after that the data transformation, like we will map the MDG fields with the ECC fields. So there can be a chance that some of the fields are available in MDG, but they will they will not be a part of the legacy system. Okay. So that can also happen. Like in MDG, we have, like in Mara table, for example, we have 100 fields, but in SAP system, like if it has a lower version, then there can be a chance that one or two fields are more or less in the same table. So that mapping and everything will happen, and after that the data will be replicated to the MDG system. Okay. Data import framework, that is also like a configuration we do in the SAP system when we want to migrate the data from one SAP system to other SAP systems. Okay. For example, we have 1,000 vendor in one SAP system, and that needs to be imported to other SAP system. Okay, so we need to do some set of configurations, like we will create a RFC connections. We will connect those two systems with the remote. What do we say? RFC. What is a sorry? What is a full form of RFC? Full form.
So this load, the framework, it is for the initial load like fresh data, or it is like intermittent data.
So in between also we can get some data. So in some of the project, like in my project, what happened, I will just first complete that thing. Okay. So first, what we will do in data import framework, like we need to create a remote function called RFC connection is there. So a full form of that is remote function call that connects the two systems logically. Okay. That creates the connection between the two systems logically. So that is a prerequisite to send the data from one system to another system. Okay, so for that we should have a number of each other. If I want to call you, I should have your mobile number. Same wise, I will have you should have my mobile number if you want to call me. And the connection will happen between the with the help of the networks and the towers we have for the for our SIM cards operators, right? So that is the thing. So same wise, we need to have the RFC connections present in the system for the target system in the source system. After that, we need to do some set of configuration, and then we will import the data from one system. For example, if we will import the data from one system, and with the help of either uh, with the help of web services or idocs, we will send that data to another system. Okay, either the idoc will get created or the web services will get created, initiated to send the data to other system. Okay, so what are all the cases we use this applications? Okay, so for the initial load, mostly we will use, like when we need to do the initial load when MDG is introduced or the new system is introduced. Sometimes what people will do, like they will have the ECC systems for operations. Okay, so if they want some other like advanced functions, so they will buy new S/4HANA system. Okay, and they will be starting they will start using the S/4HANA system. But to start using it, we should have some initial data also, legacy data. So that time they will use that. Okay, so other example is like in my project, what happened, they had one um, I will give you the example. Okay, here. So they had one SAP system, uh, and they were storing some additional information of material in classes and characteristics. Okay, they had this SAP system to store the classes, and they were storing the additional data in class and characteristics. Okay, so it was a SAP ERP system. Okay, and we had SAP MDG system in which we extended the data model with the additional fields. Okay, so these were the two systems. Okay, two different systems, but they were connected with each other. So in MDG, we are storing the data. In MDG, we are storing the data in additional fields. Okay, in data model, we extended, yesterday I showed you, like there are some custom fields that we can extend the data model. So what we did, we created a type 4 entity and we added all the additional fields, like 10 fields, and we were storing data in that. But when that material is created and it is activated, when we are sending this data to the ERP system, so in ERP system, we don't have those custom fields, but we are storing that data in the classes and characteristics. Okay, CL04, CL01, that classes is there. So in for so what will happen? When the data is getting from SAP MDG to ERP system, it will get stored in classes and characteristics. So that mapping should be done. Okay, so that will also happen in the case of migration only. So initially what happened, it was just a complex thing. Okay, when the MDG was introduced, what they said, we will not load this class and characteristic data in the MDG system. Okay, so whatever is only material data, standard material data only be loaded in the MDG in the initial load, and the existing class and characteristic we will not load. Okay, so and after 2 years they thought like, okay, now like we are having the inconsistency in system, and now they need all the class and characteristics in the MDG. So they initiated one project that is called as a change request or something. Okay, so that is a migration change request, that after 2 years of the implementation, they want that data to be migrated to MDG. Okay, so that can also, like, these kind of cases will also happen, like in between also, if they want to, load some set of data in the system. So that time also we will use the migration concept. Okay, so what they did basically, like, we got the Excel sheets from them, and they had all the classes and characteristic. And these people, the people who were working or who were responsible for this SAP ERP system, they we gave them a template of the tables in the MDG. So in MDG, we were storing these additional fields in the custom table. Okay, so we gave them a template of that table in the Excel format. So they imported those class and characteristics data, and they mapped that data into the Excel in that Excel which we provided, and they just gave it to us, and we loaded that data with the help of LSMW report, and or we can create the custom report also. So that thing happened. Okay, you got this example.
Yeah, yeah, I got it.
So these are the data migration and conversion. Conversion comes under, like, when I told you that we need to map those fields. Okay, so in SAP system we have some other field. Okay, some field called some ABC name, and in MDG it can have a other name. Or in case of like a data, so data also something like some changes will happen. So for example, in MDG, we have material type ROH. Okay, ROH is material type. And but in L4 system, the same material we are storing with the ZROH. Okay, so that conversion we need to consider. So when we are sending the 1 to 3, which is a material type ROH, so when we are sending, we should convert that material type from ROH to ZROH, and then we should send it. Otherwise, this material type will not available in this ERP system, and it will throw an error that the material type does not exist, or invalid material type. So we will get this kind of error message. So those kind of conversion techniques you need to consider that. Okay, so these are all like examples of the non SAP systems I have collected. So these are the customer CRM. So what are all the CRMs are available, and they are usually connected with SAP. So there is a Salesforce application is there. So it is a leading cloud-based CRM platform to managing sales and services, marketing and customer engagement. So Salesforce is also connected with SAP system, and we can engage the data with this system. Another is a Microsoft Dynamics CRM. So it is also customer relationship management integrating the Office 365 and Power Platform. So those are all the integrated with SAP. Another is the Oracle Sibyl CRM. So that is also like a deep industrial specific customer management capabilities. So these are all the examples of non-SAP systems. So if we take the HR kind of system, then we have a Workday. So to handle the HR payrolls and talent management, success factor is there for performance and employee learning things. PeopleSoft, that is also platform is there for HR and payroll enterprises. Another thing like financial. So we have Oracle Finance to handle the accounting, procurement, and project finance related project. JD Edwards is also there, ERP software to manufacturing, supply chain, and HR functions. We have a QuickBook, that is a small to medium business accounting software for bookkeeping, invoicing, and financial management. Another thing is supply chain procurement. So what comes under the supply chain procurement? The Ariba application. So this is widely like commonly used non-SAP non-SAP tool. Okay, the non-SAP platform to handle the suppliers. Okay, so basically what will happen in that, I am familiar with this because I have worked on this. So this is a Ariba based Ariba platform on which the vendor supplier data will be created. Okay, so what will happen mostly, they will use this Ariba platform to create a supplier. Okay, so they will give some general data, general initial data in the Ariba, and once they click on save, there will be a workflow also. Okay, so that will be handled in the Ariba. So Ariba, to handle the Ariba platform, they will be having separate Ariba team. Okay, and this Ariba platform will be connected to SAP MDG system. So once they created the vendor number, they will be having one separate global ID will be there. Okay, that will be different than the vendor number. Okay, but once they create the vendor in the Ariba, and they will send the vendor to MDG system. Okay, and in MDG system we will maintain the purchase or related data or company codes and everything, like whatever related to vendor master additional data is there, so that we will maintain in MDG. And once the change request is activated, again that additional data which updated in MDG, that will send back to Ariba system. Okay, so this is like a widely they will use this Ariba platforms for supplier management. Okay, and this thing is Coupa, that is used for procurement and invoicing expenses and management, e-commerce and front-end applications. So they like Magento, like open source e-commerce platform for building and managing the online stores. Amazon Marketplace, so that also uses the APIs and all things, like they are also combined, like in combination with the SAP platforms they will use. Database and legacy system. So for SAP, mostly like now we have got the S/4HANA, but before that they were using the Oracle database or a MySQL database also they were using for SAP to store the data. For example scenario, so customer master data is created in SAP MDG, it needs to be replicated to Salesforce CRM. So what they will do, like they will the SAP CRM will be integrated with SAP PO or SAP CPI. So these are the middlewares. So with the help of those middlewares, once the customer master data is created in MDG, it will get replicated to the Salesforce platform. Okay, do you have any doubt in this? These are all the examples of non-SAP system. We just need to, consider this data migration conversion things and the replications. Okay. We have a SAP legacy system. It can be ERP or S/4HANA. Another is the SAP MDG system.
I was saying about like old legacy systems will be there, no? Like R2, R3, those
Ah,
ones.
yes.
So, is there something like LSMW is specific for only for S4HANA, and this one cockpit is specific for sorry, cockpit is specific for S4HANA and LSMW is specific for R2, R3?
I'm not sure about that. But mostly it depends on the like how much data we have. So to create the project.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. I need to check that like if the LSMW is specific to our R3 system, because I have not worked on the like those system, like mostly ECC, like that is also like R3 system only, and I have worked on the S4H system. I have not been part of the migration projects, but mostly like those will be handled with the either the functional consultant or the migration consultant. The functional consultant will give the mappings of the data, like I told you, like in MDG, we should, if we have the material type as ROH, we should have an ERP in ZROH. This kind of things they will provide, and migration team will take care of conversion and all other things.
Mhm.
So we have a SAP system and we have a MDG system. Okay, so how they are connected? There are connected with iDocs or SOA configuration, SOA services. Okay, so today we will discuss about like what are the iDocs and what are the SOA services. Okay, so first we will discuss about iDocs. So IDOC is called as intermediate document. So it carries data basically in the segments. Okay, so it is like a hierarchical segment, like how we see. I will show you if we have any. There are no iDocs because there is no any target system. That's why we don't have any iDocs. Okay. So what will happen? Like they will be having the segments. Okay. So there will be one main segment, and inside that there will be subsegments. Subsegment 1, 2, 3, 4. Like this. So if we expand this segment, so same wise like how we have the data model here now in MDG, IMG, we have the data model. Central data, data modeling, edit data model. If we take a MM and if we click on visualize, we will be having the hierarchical view. Okay, so if we expand this material, so for if we take example of iDoc, so material data will be a main segment. Okay, and if we expand this, we will be having the sub segments like this, the packages. These are nothing but the segments only. Okay, so the segment name, so main segment will always be the root table. Okay, so if we take example of the material, then Mara will be main segment, and the segment name is even Mara M. So this always be a segment name. Right. So inside that, if we click on this, we will get all the material Mara table, like whatever fields are here in the material, this all data will be present in that segment. In this segment, and this connected and this segment, after that it will be connected to sub segment E1 Marcy M. Okay, so if in this segment it will be a plant related data. Okay, Marcy table data. So if one material, single material 1, 2, 3 is extended to 2 or 3 plants, then we will have the multiple segments like this. So this will be a plant 1 data, plant 2 data, and plant 3 data. Okay, so again after that, if there is any data related to other fields like MARDI or something, so that also it will be available here. MARDM. So this segment will be carrying the MARDI related data, whatever data is there. So MAKTX will be there. E1 MAKT, MAKT X or something like M will be there. It will be similar like this. So here, if we are maintaining the material description in multiple language, if for example, if we are maintaining the description in 2 languages, then 2 segments will be there, 3 languages and 3 segments will be there. So each will be carrying a data. So if we click on this, here we will get the list of the fields and the data field values. Okay, so like this, the iDoc carries the data. Okay, from MDG to SAP system. When the change request is activated, this is how, like with the help, like this, it is nothing but the train, we can say a train. It has an engine and it has a separate like cars will be there like car 1, car 2, and it will be carrying some related data. Okay, so like this, the data will get carried to from SAP to MDG to SAP system. Okay, so this is what IDOC is. I will show you like if you see here, this is it. It looks like this. Okay, E1 ED001. So this is some other data is there, but it looks similar like the segment 000 like 00001, 2, 3, 4. And if we open this segment, like you can see this is a sub segment. So if you open this segment, if you click on this here in the right hand box, we will get the field name and field value. Okay, so like this, we will be having the E1 Mara M. Even Mara M. So if we click on that, we will get the field names here in the left hand side, and we will get the all values which are available, like which we maintained in the MDG here, like this. So this is the main segment. Okay. So if we click on this, WE02 is the T code for that. Okay. So if we click on go to T code WE02, we will get like we need to give the this one here /O WE02. Okay, so if you want to see today's IDOC, you can give, or you can give the name, a date of the IDOC, and if you click on this, you will get the IDOC details. Let's check if we have any IDOCs created on 1994. I can see some. There are not totally no any IDOC is there. So these are this is the main segment, and under this you can see the Mara 1, MAKTM, MAKTM, MAKTM. So this is MAKT means the description table, right? So this is calling passing the description data. And here, if you can see, this is little blur, but even MARCM. So MARCM is nothing but the plant data. Okay. So like this, the IDOC is there. Another is the SOA services. Okay. So is the long form of the SOA. Service oriented architecture. Service oriented architecture. So it is a kind of a web service. Okay. And when we configure this web service into our MDG system to connect those two systems, so it will send the data in the XML format. SRT money is the T code. Okay, you just note it down. So SRT money, SRT_money. So if we give any like from 2010, we don't have any web services also. So we will get the web service like here the message we will get. So we just need to double click on that. And if we go to XML view, then we will see the view. I will show you that also. Mostly we will use this for a business partner. Okay, service SOA manager. So this SOA service we will use for the business partner.
So specifically something like when you like IDOCs are used only for the materials generally because that updation of other things will be there. So this is so.
No, it's not like that. It depends like how you want to configure it. But mostly what they will do, like material will go with the IDOCs. They will send the business partner related data with the SOA manager, and they will send the vendor data and customer data with IDOCs.
Okay.
Okay, but vendor and customer can be also configured in SOA also. Okay, so it depends on the architect, like how the integration is designed. Maybe some of the features also they will be considering with the help of iDocs, what are all the features we are getting, or SOA services, what are all. But in my experience, like mostly I have worked like when it was a material, we will be using, we were using the iDocs. And when business partner, we were using the SOA services. And for vendor master and customer data, we were using the iDocs. Okay.
Okay.
So if we take example of business partner, so business partner data, we will send in one message. And after that, once the business partner is created in another system, we will send business partner relationships in another message, second message. Okay, so if it has a relationship with other business partner, customers, or partner functions, so those data will get sent in the second message. Okay, so if you see, like if you are sending like business partner 1, you can see the 2 messages for business partner. Okay, so here, if you see here, replication request, bulk replication. Okay, here we don't have. So we will have one like a business partner bulk replication request, and another one will be business partner relationships. Okay, so this 2 names will be there in the interface. If you read this, you can see that suit bulk replication will be the business partner data, and business partner relationships will be other message. So that will be carrying the business partner and business partner relationships. So once these 2 messages gets into the other system, once the data is created, that system, like if we take example of the this system, legacy system, once the data successfully gets created, it will send a confirmation message. So this one message will be, these 2 message will be outgoing messages, outgoing, and we will get the confirmation message, confirmation in, and here it will be data out. Data out, something like that. And if we check this log in SRT Money T code in MDG system, okay, MDG system. So we will get the confirmation in, sorry.
The same link you opened, no? After the bubbles only you can see in and out, you can see. See, there only.
Yeah. Yes, here. So we will have one message for SAP Business Partner Suite bulk replication in, and we will get the confirmation also. Okay, and another one will be relationships. Okay, so when the data is getting sent from MDG to ECC system, the messages will be out and confirmation in, because these messages are getting outside of the MDG system, right? But if we check the same SRT Money log in the ECC system, SAP ERP or S4 system, these messages will be in. And this confirmation will be out. Okay, you understood this?
Yeah.
And in confirmation, we will just have an acknowledgement that the data business partner is created or business partner is updated, the business partner relationship. Can you see this? So if we open that, if we double click on that web service, okay, so this, which one? So if we double click, like if the processing is complete, okay, so this is in error, like we will get a green status here, okay, green, and application like complete something message will get. So if we double click on that, If we double click on that, it will open one page. And if there is one button called as open XML format. So once we open the XML format, it will show something like this. Okay. So it will have a XML format. So this is nothing but the nodes. If you see here, we have the ID. ID is nothing but the business partner number. So inside that, we have the process code. These are all unit currency, quoted currency, rates. So these are all the fields, quoted date, time. So if we go inside that, we will have the sales organization. So, these are the tags. So inside the tag company ID 1000, that means it is a company code. Okay, company ID is nothing but the company code. We will have the sales organization also. So tag name and complete tag. So company ID is 1000 and it has a complete tag. So like this, in the XML format, the data will go to other system with the help of the SOA manager. Okay. So like this, the data will go, and SRT money is the T code to check the this SOA logs. Okay, so to check the log, like whether the data is transferred to other target system successfully or not. And in IDOC, we have a WE02 to display IDOCs, to check the IDOCs which are going outside of the system. Okay, I missed one thing in IDOC. Okay, so how we have the outgoing and incoming messages in SOA, like that we have a inbound and outbound messages, IDOCs. Okay, so inbound is something coming from the different system. Okay, and outbound is going from our system to another system. Inbound on IDOCs. So if we open this WE0T code, if we open this WE02 T code, we will give the date or something, like whatever we want, like in which time period we need to check the IDOCs. Okay, and we will get this page, these IDOCs. Okay, and here in left hand side, we will have the outbound IDOC and inbound IDOC. So if we take this system as an example, outbound is something coming from other system. Okay, and inbound is outbound is going from this system to target system. Okay, and inbound is, it is coming from other system to our system. Okay, and these are the messages. Okay, these are the message types. So in this, matmas is used for material master. Okay,
Okay.
so if you want to note down, matmas is for message type in IDOC for material master. Debmas is a message type for customer, and Krimas message type for vendor. Okay, so this is something you can do. You can give in a WE02 T code to filter out the things. Okay, so if you go to /o WE02 T code, here basic type you need to provide as a message type. Okay, so if we check here, and it will have the versions. Okay, matmas. So if we give star, and if you give, like, it will have a multiple version. It depends like which version you are using. Matmas 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you can just simply, like, if you don't know like which message type exactly you are giving, like you can just give matmas star and execute it. So it will give all material related IDOC, and they will be inside this matmas segment. So if you want to check the outbound, means what messages are, what IDOCs are going from MDG system to outside of the system, you will go to inbound IDOC and you will double click on matmas. So if you double click on matmas, you will get all the IDOCs which are related to matmas and which are going out. And if you see the direction here, we can also see the outbox. Outbox means they are going outside. Okay, and inbound means they are coming, coming in this system. Okay, so in the direction will be inbox format. Okay, and these are the standard message types. Debmas, CREMA. So if you want to check the customer IDOCs, customer related, you can give Debmas and star in the basic type, and you will get all the customer related IDOCs. Okay. These are the things. Okay. So this we discussed about the, yeah.
Thing is only for material and customer master, vendor master we have. For the finance related thing,
We have na GL mast. GLMAST for finance. And cost mass, I guess, for cost center. 1 second, let me just cost center and profit center. Okay, and it can have the versions like as I show you, like 01, 02, 03, 04. So, but whenever you want to check, like you can just give cost mass and star, GL mass and star, PRC mass and star. So you will get the all the IDOC related to that. Okay.
yeah.
Let's just wrap up, like we check like what things we discussed. Data replication. Okay, so we discussed about the integration to ERP and other system. We discussed about like how integration is there, like it has a SAP PI, SAP PO, and SAP CPI is there. Web services and IDOCs are there to integrate. Real-time replication and synchronization is nothing but the migration concept. Like synchronization, replication ensures the data is synchronous in all the landscape, and real-time replication is an immediate replication. We have other replication like a batch replication or method, with the period-wise replication. So that also we discussed. Data migration and conversion, data migration concepts we discussed, like what are all the data migration concepts?
Data LTMC, data services and DIF.
Data services, DIF framework, migration cockpits. These are all the data migration things. So that we discussed. And do we have the replication thing here? Data quality, data integration. Integration, master data governance, specific integration with SAP solutions. Reporting, monitoring, master data governance process. No. Data replication. So inside this only, I will add one point. So that is, we talked about the IDOCs, SUMA services. Replication. WE02 is the decode for IDOC, and SRT, mon is SRT underscore mon is decode for SOA service, SOA service to check the logs.
Yeah.
So tomorrow, yeah, do you have any question?
Regarding like customization, you said you will share about this one consolidation in mass process.
Yes, I actually need to check like the example video if it is available on the YouTube. I need some time so that I did not get actually time, but I today I will do it. By tomorrow I'll share the video. Okay, I'll share it with Aditi. She will forward it to you. or maybe we can watch together tomorrow if it is a short video.
Sure.
Okay, so tomorrow we will discuss about the reporting and monitoring of the master data governance processes. Okay, so what comes under this? Like when we replicate the data from MDG system to ECC system, there can be some errors. So how to address those errors and how to, uh, check those errors. Actually, there is nothing available in our system. Like there is no other system, target system. So we cannot reproduce those things. Okay, we cannot reproduce the idocs or SRT money logs, but I will try to check some if there is some material available online. So I will not have to, search here in front of you. I will just prepare something. Okay.